All right, we're all set with Coach Quinn. Percy, start us out.
Awesome. Hey, the coach. Um, it seemed as if your physicality and poise told the story of this game. Just how did you guys use both that physicality and like poise to seemingly wear down Indiana?
Again, starting on the defensive side of the ball, being very attentive to our scout, whether it was Clark, whether it was Kelsey Mitchell. I know Smith got a little bit loose at the beginning, but meeting their physicality with physicality, sustaining it, and we talked about if we get stops, we can run. Even in our half court offense, there are things that we can get if we're very intentional about being aggressive and being physical. So again, both sides of the ball, but I will start on the defensive side of the ball.
And just from your on being on the sideline, just did 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 you particularly see anything in that Clark Vivian sort of dust up there, and also the same with the Chrissy Sides technical, on TV didn't really get a chance to see what led to that, but we did see the Clark Vivian sort of tanglement there.
I didn't see it, but what I saw is competitors on the floor playing hard and competing at a high level. Christy, supporting her team, just a high level competition.
Awesome, thank you, Coach.
Let's go to Jeff Brown and we'll go to Moz. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, coach. So you start the season 0-2, but finish the month of May 5-3 with four straight wins. How do you kind of evaluate the team's performance over the first month? And what did you learn about your team?
Well, we are a resilient bunch. We started off the season with a very tough schedule, knowing that we didn't have a lot of prep time, but you have to get better in games, in film. And I feel like we have a professional, locked-in group, very mature, want to be better every single day. And that's what you're seeing. We're not there yet, but we're showing signs of a lot of growth in a lot of areas. Not trying to pay attention to a record at all. Just want to get better every single day.
In the third quarter, over the past two games against Chicago, you were a +11, and this one you're +16. What do you like about your team's adjustments after halftime?
I like that they're talking and figuring out with each other. It's not just coaches talking to players, players talking with each other, to the bench talking to those who are on the floor, and vice versa, to see where our adjustments need to be made. And a lot of times I'm coming into the huddle or into the locker room, they've already talked about it because they see it. And what it is there's not a panic in our group at all. Whether it's if we're down, whether it's we're playing well and teams go on runs, there's a poise about the leadership, where it's coming from those three, Jewel, NECA, Skylar, or from our senior advisor and Sammy. There's always a poise about us that kind of gets us on track, and just seeing resilience and seeing patience with the growth in this journey.
Very late in the game, Indiana goes on an 11-0 run while you had sat the starters. Jordan, though, she makes a few good plays. I think she scores twice and also kicks it out to Kiana for a three. What did you kind of see out of Jordan in those final minutes? And then also just her growth in her ability to maybe her offense and shooting kind of inside the paint, I feel like has been a pretty big improvement from last year.
That's what she's worked on in the off season, is those things exactly. Being more efficient around the rim. She couldn't use her right shoulder for a long time, so she was working on her left hand. She's been tweaked her jump shot a little bit, her 3-point shots. She's been working at a tremendous rate. She's very serious about wanting to improve and be a great player in this league. In those moments, I saw aggressiveness. She knew that she can attack her matchup and really dominate her matchup. Defensively, she was using her athleticism and her speed to get her hands on balls, and that's what she can do for us consistently.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Moz and then we'll go to Christian.
Hey, coach, you said your team is resilient, professional, locked in. Is it fair to add unselfish in that?
Yeah, 29 assists.
Right.
It's a little kind of back that up. Yeah, the unselfishness is, it's showing up in the box score, but to me, it's not only on the court. It's, what I see in the locker room, what I see on the plane, what I see after games. It's like the moments that aren't basketball, I think it really impact these moments as well. Talk about the accountability partners and, our group trying to accelerate our chemistry. There is some selflessness in that, to know that I have to get out of myself and be more team oriented, so that we can accelerate this thing. And so what it is not only selflessness, but it's just getting a feel for our system and each other and chemistry building on the court. It's still early, but I think we're finding, some spots to really be chemistry driven.
And what does it say? What does it do for you, a defensive-minded coach, when your all-stars are coming on in our Zoom and saying, we want to play great team defense, and it starts with our defense? Just what kind of space does that put you in, and what's the potential there for this team?
Yeah, it's great to know that there's buy-in there and there's investment there, and there is accountability there, because we have the pieces that can play defense on a high level. And when you have new pieces trying to figure out each other, the more locked in they can be on that end of the floor to stop other teams, then there's some grace in what happens on the offensive end. But you can play faster. You can play in transition when you're able to be solid defensively. I love that, we're locked in onto that side of the ball, because it's important. It's not, you have to play offense. You have to play defense, and we know offense is, everybody loves to play offense. But if we can really have a dog defensive mentality, it helps this early chemistry building stage.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Miles. Christian, and then we'll wrap up with Candace. Christian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Dealing with so many different variables to start the season, new players coming in, learning a system, all gelling in one. There's so many different times, ebbs and flows of the game kind of knock the team off their rhythm. But, with the last 5 games, that hasn't really been the test of the story. We've seen it from all the different players: Skylar, Nneka, Ezzy, Jordan, Mercedes off the bench. Really just a team effort in almost all of these games. And the second part of my question is, 7 of the next 9 before these last 2 games are on the road. With the team flying charter since the New York game, I think on the 21st, anything that you're seeing, like you said, most important thing is off the court as far as chemistry building. What are you seeing on the plane, and things that you could share with us?
Yeah, sorry, what was the first part of your question?
Oh, sorry. Team contributions over the last couple games.
Yeah.
Skylar with 21 assists and only 7 turnovers in the last 4 games, I think.
Yeah. One thing that I really notice about the group is the points of emphasis, or the corrections that we may need to make. They really lock in on that, and they don't want to hear my mouth about it, as Skylar will say. Because it's like they want to do the right thing. And I think that's a lot of what's happening. The turnovers have been our Achilles heel, so that has been a greater focus. Moving the ball and ball movement as we're learning each other has been also a point of emphasis, and they're trying to do the right thing. And again, when I talk about this investment, there's this buy-in from our starting group that trickles down to our other role players. And because they know what their roles are, they're able to be superstars in their roles and really hold each other accountable and themselves accountable to those roles. So Sadie's being more aggressive, Jordan doing what she does defensively, Sammy continuing to be a sniper. These are all things that those players know that they can do at a high level, and they're trusting our main guys to hold them accountable, but also bring them in as well. And on the charter flight, I'm watching film all the time. I don't know what's going on in the front of the plane. But, a lot of card games, they're sitting with each other. So lots of conversation. Again, I'll talk about these accountability partners that we have. They have to have touch points with them on these road trips, whether it's coffee, dinner, lunch, and learn about each other outside of basketball and bring that back to the group. You just have a really cool group of women who like to be around each other and understand that it's greater than just hooping. It's about experiencing one another and enjoying this journey with each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Christian. We'll go to Candace to wrap up.
Hey, Coach. I just had a quick question for you about Ezzy's performance tonight, and just her performances to start this season overall. She just continues to have her name land in some pretty amazing lists of folks who have played in WNBA in terms of just the things that she's doing during games, especially with her shot blocking. And I was just curious your thoughts on just how well she's transitioned into working alongside some newer faces in the starting lineup defensively this season, and just how great it's been to see her be such a leader defensively this season for this team.
Yeah, her number one role is to be a defensive anchor, and she's living in that. And I think, early on in the season, she's trying to figure out how to play with NECA. And the cool part about it is, like, I know Ezzy may look at Sky and NECA as these big superstars who maybe she grew up watching or whatever it is, but they look at her in the same light. And I love that. That resonates with me because it shows, like, who she is and how humble she is, but also how good of a basketball player she is as well. She is really, really cleans up a lot of stuff defensively for us and the blocks, but also this year she's more confident in her scheme calling, and I hear her being vocal, and that's one of the things we've been talking about for the past couple of seasons is like, now that and are comfortable defensively, now you have to be vocal back there, and I see the growth in that aspect. But also, just like in Chicago, she's capable of giving us some offensive firepower too, pushing the ball up the floor, finding players and finishing efficiently around the rim. So it's not just defensively for us, that's where it starts, but the offense really helps us as well.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I just had a really quick follow-up. I was just curious, NECA actually just a moment ago, she referred to Ezzy as the Marshall on defense for the team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and whatever, all synonyms, Marshall, anchor. I don't know if that's a synonym, but yes, everything that encompasses whatever. NECA went to Stanford, so I trust that's what Ezzy embodies.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
See everybody back in Seattle.